Welcome, everyone, to our very first episode. I'm your host, Chris Swift, and today I'm talking with Rich Lindblom, former independent retailer turned AVB marketing employee. Rich has an incredibly unique view as he spent the majority of his professional career serving his local community and then making his transition to now serving members. We're going to learn a lot about Rich's time as a dealer, his challenges, his wins, and he's going to share his wisdom from a successful exit. So, welcome to the show, Rich.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Happy to be here.
Okay, so before we get into the Q&A, can you tell everybody a little bit about your story?
Sure. So, like a lot of dealers here, I grew up in the business. It was a family business started by my father in 1956. Started at a very young age, cleaning parts, washing windows. Went into deliveries and sales and service. My brother and I ran the company together along with our father for quite a few years, and then we bought him out. He retired, and that's the thing about a business like this is dealers wear a lot of hats, and by the time you get to my age, you pretty much worn every hat that's possible. So from sales, service, parts, deliveries, marketing, inventory, bookkeeper, chief cook, and bottle wash, whatever it is, most dealers and brand stores have done it all, and they've got their hands on every different aspect of it. And that's the battles we fought and the road we took to get there.
Let's get right into the first question then, because that's the perfect transition. And I think the entire audience will probably agree that being a retailer is absolutely not for everybody. And obviously, you've experienced those ups and downs. Let's start on the positive side. What did you enjoy the most during that time?
Anybody that spends a little bit of time with me will learn pretty quickly that I'm a competitive kind of person. I like to win. And to me, business was like a game. Every day was a new day, a new chance to win. When I went to work, I thought, all right, we're going to win today. And then tomorrow I went to work and I'm going to win tomorrow. I can truly say in the over 40 years that I, worked in my family business, never once did I wake up and say, oh man, I got to go to work today. Darn it. I actually looked forward to going into the office because it was a challenge, the challenge of succeeding, the challenge of beating the competition to get that customer.
Inside of that, though, obviously there were the downs that came too. Was there something about being the owner operator that wasn't the most fun?
It was never about satisfaction. It was more about what's the most fun. And two things come to mind. I mean, number one, as the person who wears the crown, ultimately everything falls on you. So if there's a problem, right, something goes wrong, somebody screws something up, you got an unhappy customer, it ultimately does fall on your lap. And that's part of the job, taking care of customers, making them happy.
Was there a moment or a specific event during your time as a dealer that if you could go back and make a change that you would actually do it, and then why?
Being older, being old school, I think we were slower than we should have been to adopt technology, to in particular digital marketing, because it was kind of like, hey, I've been doing this 40 years. I know what I'm doing. You guys
Sure.
don't know better than me. Well, actually, I might have been wrong there in retrospect. So I think if we were faster to adopt to technology, we probably would have benefited. And even a connected point of sale system, digital marketing, a lot of the technological aspects, we were a little slow to adopt. And I think that probably did not help us.
So for you, when you look back on your time running the show there, was there a key decision that helped your business grow and really solidify your leadership style?
So I think there's probably two different types of questions, actually. So a key decision that helped our business grow truly was turning the reins over to digital marketing and finally getting away from the old school. Personal aspect of it, one was time to sell our business. We knew how much we needed to get out of our company that we could retire, my brother and I, and we had to grow our sales to reach that number and reach the valuation of the company. So I literally went to AVB and I made a full commitment to digital marketing, and we grew our sales like 27% on the year because we committed to digital marketing. And I mean, it's not a sales pitch for AVB. It's reality.
Yeah, I was going to say, not paid for this sponsorship.
Yeah. No, it's straight up true stories. We went all in on digital marketing, and we grew our business sufficiently that we were able to get the price we wanted for the company. And that's how we're able to sell for the price that we needed to get. And that's all to digital marketing. So now that's, as far as leadership style goes, I believe you lead by example. When I interviewed people, I would always tell people, I will never ask you to do something I haven't done. And that's the good thing about growing up in this business for, people like me who've been in it their whole life. We have done everything. And I can truly say I would never ask someone to do something I wouldn't do myself. And I believe that, you've got to try to empower your employees, and you got to trust your employees, hire the right people, train them right, give them the tools to succeed, and trust them a little bit.
Which I'm sure is hard for a lot of leaders too, to be able to hand over that trust where you were the guy wearing all the hats and doing all the things. And then the first time you had to hand over one of those key decision-making type management related things, I'm sure it was very difficult. With that, what was do you think one of your biggest challenges when it came to actually growing the business?
Being in Chicago is extremely competitive. I would argue it's probably the most competitive market in the country. When you're in a large metropolitan area like Chicago, you have an unlimited number of customers. The problem is you also have an unlimited number of competition. So, you can't drive a mile in any direction without finding somebody that'll sell the same thing that I'm selling. So that was the hardest part, is growing your business when the cost per click for ads and things like that is just so much higher in a large metro area than it is in a smaller market or a rural area.
So how did you effectively do it to grow that?
Well, that's where we turned to digital marketing, and that's what helped make the difference. For us, our marketing was pretty much digital and direct mail, and that was it at the end.
Was there a big failure that you can remember that really taught you a lifelong lesson, at least in your business?
So we actually we were 2 stores. We added a 3rd store. We thought it was a good business opportunity. Turned out it wasn't. And we pulled the plug pretty quickly. I think 2 to 3 years. We figured out right away that we were actually making less money with 3 stores than we were with 2. If it's a mistake, don't be afraid to cut it off quickly. Don't think it's maybe it'll work out. I'll just keep losing money for the next 5 years.
Right.
Cut the cord.
At some point, did you dial back to just one, or did you maintain the 2?
When our father retired, we shut down the 2nd store and expanded the 1st store. Brought service, sales, parts, warehouse, everything under one roof, which there's something to be said for that. It's much easier to keep the reins on, a single store than multiple locations. But
how important during your time got it up to 3, brought it back down to 1. How important was creating systems in the business for your overall success?
I'm a big fan of efficiency. I hate wasting time. I hate seeing money wasted. So systems help you be more efficient. Have a plan, execute the plan, give your people the technology and the tools they need to move the plan forward. You could shave hours off of your day if you have the right tools at your disposal.
What systems or technology did you end up determining was super critical for your business at that time when you were there?
Well, giving our technicians tablets so they could actually go online and look up their own parts, order their own parts, diagnose their problems. That was the biggest one. And providing our technicians with the diagnostic tools they needed to do their job correctly. If you have to go back to a job a second time, you've lost money. Your goal is always to complete a call in one trip at whatever cost you got to do it in one trip, because if you go back twice, you're losing money. So we tried to give our technicians whatever tools they needed to get the job done in one trip. And when we did deliveries, we tried to make sure our trucks had everything in stock that they could conceivably need.
Did you learn that right away, or was that a system that was already built as you and your brother came in to take over, or that was the kind of stuff that you brought in?
That was the kind of stuff we brought in. When I did deliveries, we went out with a couple of pieces of venting, a couple of gas connectors, and a couple of fittings, and good luck, and hopefully you get the job done in one trip.
As you guys started to bring in technology, did you experience any pushback from your employees when trying to add in these new technology solutions, and what kind of challenges did that present?
Yeah, it's kind of a curve. The older the employee, the more resistant they are to technology. And but I think once people realize that the technology can make their lives easier, and you can show them it, hey, it's not that here. This is how you do it. Let's walk through it. You get them hooked on it, and they realize, hey, this ain't so bad. And we had a couple older technicians who were resistant, but by the end, I mean, they were loving it. And I mean, just tablets, and they looked up everything, and they don't have to call me to order a part. They can do all this stuff themselves.
Yeah.
So there is a learning curve, and it's just like point of sale systems today. It's a scary thing to do, but so is open heart surgery. I don't know. It's maybe a terrible thing to say, but if you need the surgery, you need the surgery. If you need a point of sale system, or if you need tablets, or you need laptops, or you need anything, you've got to give your people the tools they need to succeed.
Yeah, I think that phrase in there at the end, the team needs the tools that they need to succeed. And living in this modern day world where your consumers are fully educated on technology and their expectation of easy, I'm sure that that can help translate, especially when starting to bring on new employees who fully expect things that are easy and simple to use, and not having to go to the boss to find the right part or whatever it may be. You probably set the company up well ahead of time for its long-term success. So good for you on that one.
Yep.
All right, here's a couple wrap-up questions. Who for you was the most influential in your career as a retailer, and why?
It was probably still my father, because he was a great salesman. I mean, he could sell, what's the saying, ice cubes to Eskimos. The competitive nature, I think, probably came from him as well. I will say I had a sales rep, a major manufacturer sales rep, who one time he challenged me. He said, "Hey, Rich, you know what? You're not doing your job." He called me out, and in retrospect, I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I'll be darned if he's not right. There was something going on in my life, and he had the guts to call me out. So I always actually appreciated the fact that he pushed me to be the better me. And I think everybody kind of needs somebody pushing them to be a little bit better, to go that extra step.
Everybody does need that. A cheerleader, or at least, yeah, the person to hold up a mirror for you and just say, have a little bit closer look here. One last on this.
Okay.
What did people say that made you the most proud during your time as a retailer?
The thing that I loved, absolutely loved, is when a customer would come in our store and we'd sell them a product and we'd be all done, and they would just say, you know what? It was such a pleasure coming here compared to one of the box stores. Those people don't know anything. They're just walking around an apron, and they don't know what they're talking about. And we come to you and you have all the answers, and that's it. We were the experts. Dealers, I mean, first of all, if you don't think you have the best delivery people and the best service people and the most knowledgeable salespeople, you need to replace them, because that's what sets you apart from the big box stores, is the fact that you are the experts. You have the best people. You have the most trained people. I mean, the product inside out, and most of your competition, they're just, it's numbers, it's figures, it's, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this. The whys and hows and wherefores that other people don't. And you can truly present the product and sell the product in a fashion that other stores can't.
Give that end consumer the confidence that they're making the right choice. And just the human to human touch part about that you just described, the ability to know the guy and be able to call the guy after the fact, or and trust that you're my neighbor, right? You live in the same community and you care about it the same way I do.
People don't understand how important it is to support your local businesses, because that money stays in the community. You buy from a big corporation, that money's going to the corporate offices. It's not staying in your town. Support local, buy local, and we take care of them. Service after the sale, service before, during, and after. And those are the things you don't get with the big box stores, which is what dealers need to stress. Customers can buy from anyone. You got to give them a reason to buy from you, and customer service is the best reason.
Well, that's a great endpoint, Rich. I want to say thanks for hanging out with me. It's been really an honor learning everything about your family and the business that you guys grew. So thank you for sharing your story with me and with everybody else.
I appreciate you hanging out with me too, Chris. Hopefully something I said makes a difference for somebody. That's my goal. I love helping dealers. That's what I try and do every day.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Have a great rest of your day.
Good to see you. Yep. Bye now.
And thank you for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like and a follow, and stay tuned for a new episode each and every month. Until next time.